not that big, actually, really a common question. Spencer, do you want to talk about practice times?
Yeah, so there are like recommended times in the day that are optimal for practicing. We kind of talk about it in the orientation series. There's sort of a morning block between, let's say, like 9 a.m. and noon, where the brain has the tendency to absorb more material. And then sometimes in the evenings as well for some individuals, like between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. is a good block. But it's so variable. That's just like statistically based on the research. That's sort of when they recommend. I like to practice in the morning because my brain gets a little bit foggy around this time of the day. And then in terms of time, I it really depends, and it depends widely on a few different variables. Number one is like obviously the quality of the practice. If you do an hour of practice that's just really intentional, really deliberate, and really yeah, just sort of focused. That's enough for a day. You'll make some good progress. You'll fill up short-term memory. You'll start downloading into long-term memory. On the other hand, if you're sort of just phoning it in a little bit in practice and not super focused, um, you know, an hour won't be enough. More than I'd say more than 3 or 4 hours, and there's diminishing returns on a practice session. You're not really going to get that much out of it. It's better off to go, kind of go for a walk somewhere and just try and integrate what you've already learned. But somewhere between that, like 1 and 4 hour mark is ideal. But again, the minimum effective dose is about an hour.
Yeah, like you said, Spencer, the hour, the case of somebody really being able to accelerate and progress a lot in an hour, it requires a very focused hour.
Yeah.
My experience and like my general kind of like feeling about this is 3 hours is if you're really seeking to play on a professional level and like this is your main thing. 3 hours is a kind of the mark that you want to be hitting. And that could be like an hour, in the morning and another 2 hours later. And that's only practice time. So when I was, playing, when I was like starting, I would practice at least 3 hours, but then I would also go to a rehearsal and then go to a gig and then go to a jam session. So you want to be playing as much as possible, but always having your, around 3 hours of pretty focused practice, which also includes some like creative time and maybe writing music and stuff too. So, um, yeah, hopefully that'll help. And also just to just to respond to what Spencer said too, is like morning and evenings are really seem to be, like you said, statistically great for people. And also like some people are night owls and like to practice all night, at like midnight to 3 a.m., right? And I personally really love like afternoon practices, like lunch hour practice. So that's a completely that's a thing that you'll find in your own rhythm.